Hello, Paparazzi, and welcome to this special edition of Paparazzi Premiere Onboarding. Going to get you on board. I'm Jeff, and with me today, we're in the same room but different screens, is Andrea from our Paparazzi Premiere team. And we lovingly refer to her as AQ because she has a cool nickname, because she has a cool job. And she's here to get you all onboarded. You've been waiting. The app is finally here for you that came to Glow. And we couldn't be more excited to get your app going and get going on the app. So I'm going to turn the time over to AQ. How's that sound?
I like it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, there you go.
Jump in. All right, guys. So, as exciting as it is, there is some general housekeeping things we need to go over first before we get you onboarded to get going. So, first things first, if you were so excited back in August after Glow that you downloaded the app from the App Store at that time, you are going to want to do the update. So you're going to want to go to the App Store, your respective App Store, and do the update of your Premiere app to your app. So make sure you do that on whichever device you're using. Get the latest version. The latest version should be version 27. So just know that you need to go in and do that if you were so excited. Second housekeeping thing, you're going to need 3 pieces of information to get going with setting up your account with Premiere. First thing you need your social security number, or you need your EIN number if you are a registered business, worked with an accountant and done all of that. So you need that information. The second thing you're going to need is you're going to need your banking information. So you're going to need your account number and routing number. So quickly find a blank check and that'll have your information, or you can log into your banking app and you should be able to get that information from there. The third thing you're going to need to get started today is going to be a credit card that you're going to be able to pay the $7.50 account setup fee with the merchant account. So while you guys are finding that information, I'm going to give you a minute here and I'm going to go over some other general housekeeping things here. So we did talk about this, I think on the Dork Show, Jeff and Ryan did mention this. So your $7.50 setup fee is for your merchant account. All of the features that are in the app as far as inventory management, your online store, all of that is included in the basic features of your Premiere app. And that's really awesome. There's no cost to using those features. There's no cost for the fully integrated, getting your inventory and all of that from your wholesale orders. And it's really great. Really powerful features there. What the $7.50 setup fee is for your merchant account. So that is a one-time $7.50 fee. And then every year thereafter, it is $2.50. So really reasonable pricing there. And we'll talk about the merchant fees as we go through the process here and getting onboarded. The other item to note about setting up your account as we get going here. So we talked about that your account is linked to your Paparazzi account. So all of your information that we have with Paparazzi is being brought in to your Premiere account. So the email that you got from the Premiere team, from my team, went to the email address that we had on file with Paparazzi. So just know that if there's any information that may not be accurate on your account, that was the information that Paparazzi also has. So you're going to want to get that information updated, right? So your email address, phone number, address, all of that information, make sure you go into your back office, go to edit my profile, and manage that information there. If it has to do with anything about that your social security number or your EIN or your business name or any of that isn't accurate, you're going to want to contact support to fill out the necessary information, provide the necessary documentation to support to make sure your information's up to date there as well. And then one of the questions that we're hearing a lot in support is you set up a business, you just haven't gotten around to providing that information to Paparazzi. Do that. Call support. Get that information provided to them so both your Premiere app and your Paparazzi account can be up to date as well. So with that, the other item before we jump into it and we're about to get started is your account setup. So we're going to go through these steps and it's really easy. But to get started, you are going to reset your password. So we did not bring in your password information that you have with your back office with Revolution, just for security purposes. So you are in Premier going to reset your password. And just know that whatever you reset your password to for Premier, it is not resetting your password with your back office. They are two independent things. You can choose to use the same password. Network and security people would tell you don't do that, but I'm telling you there's no restrictions against it. So that decision is yours to make. So without further ado, we will get started. But before we jump into the actual onboarding steps, let's go ahead and go to that step where you're going to load the app, and then you're going to click on the Forgot Password link. And you're going to put in your email address, and it's going to email you a link to reset your password. So with that, when you reset your password, it's very common. Any site that you've reset your password with, it's going to email you a link. You're going to click that link. You're going to, put in your new password, and then you'll be able to log in back on the app with that new password. So go ahead and do that while I get my slides and stuff set up here and transitioned. So gonna get this going over here. With that being said, my screens are screenshots. And the reason for that is because I've already set up an account. This is one of those set it and forget it kind of things. Once you do it, you never go back and do it. So I am doing everything through screenshots of what was done on an Apple. Just know that Apple and Android, you are going to go through the exact same steps. It's going to look slightly different depending on the device type that you're using. Now with Apple, it's showing you all 8 steps, but with Android, it's going to show you steps 1 through 3 and then 1 through 5. So just know they're all the same. They're in the same order. It just might look slightly different. Okay. So jumping into this, now that you've had the chance to get the information and reset your password, we're going to get started. So those first 3 steps are setting up your store. The store is your business, right? This isn't the merchant account side yet. That's going to come in a few steps, but this is your store. So take a moment here and just validate the information that we have. If you need to change the email address, you can do that here. Correct the name, anything that you want to correct on here, you can go ahead and do that. Then once you click on, once you click on next or continue, I can't remember which button, which device has which, but once you go to the next step there, you're going to see you're setting up your shipping. So this is what are you going to charge for shipping on any orders that your customers place with you. So this toggle here that you see, free shipping over an amount, is for when you offer free shipping over a specific amount. So the example I like to use is if you shop with me and you spend more than $75, you get free shipping. So in that case, I'm going to toggle on that field. And then in the next field that shows up when you toggle that on, I would put 75. So that says to Premier that once a customer's order meets that $75 threshold, it's going to automatically apply free shipping. So going down to the next section is how you apply your standard rates. So if it's, in my example, under $75, what are my standard shipping rates? And what we find is that a lot of consultants do a flat rate of shipping. You can shop with me and it's $5 to $7, depending on what you've decided to charge for shipping. So I would leave the 0 ounces there, leave it just as it is. And in shipping costs, where you see enter an amount, I would put the $7 that I want to charge for shipping. Now, if you do a weight-based shipping, some consultants still do it by weight, you are going to want to figure out what those weight ranges are, and you will use that plus button there, the green plus button that says add weight, and you'll put in that table or that scale for those different amounts. So if it's, a lower amount starts at $4, then the next weight range is $4.50, that kind of thing. You just keep clicking the add weight amount. So once you have that information entered, we are going to go to the next step. And this is going to be your shipping and return policies. This is what's going to show up on your online store and on any of your invoices that you send out or the receipts when they pay for those invoices. So we have defaulted text there that is provided for us by Paparazzi because newer consultants, as you guys do recruiting, they don't know what they need to put in there. Something that's there is easier than trying to figure it out on their own. You may have your own shipping policies and return policies that you've defined, and that's great. You can absolutely edit that here, or if you want to save time to keep up with us, there will be another training that we're going to be talking about to be able to manage all of your store information like this as a separate how do you edit things if you need to change them kind of training. So go ahead and click next for me. So this is where we get going on your merchant account setup. So before we get started here, it is vital, very important that everything that you do from here on out has to be correct. Spelling correctly, the numbers have to be in the right order for like your social security number and that kind of information. Because there is an identification check that is done. So just pay extra close attention to that as we go through this process. All right, so here we go. We're going to get started. So the first thing you're going to see here is your personal information. So on this screen here, you are going to put in your personal information. And if you operate as a business and you have an EIN number, you are still on this screen going to put in your social security number. Businesses are owned by people. So on this screen here, this is the person that owns the business, right? So go ahead and take a moment, fill in that information. And once you have it all correct and you've double, triple, quadruple checked the spelling of your name and you've made sure your social are correct, you're going to go ahead and go to the next step. And this is where we get into the business information. So if you operate as a business where you see federal tax ID, parentheses, EIN number, if you operate as a business, now this is where you put in that EIN number. If you do not operate as a business and you only operate under your social security number, that's perfectly fine. You are going to put your social security number in that field as instead of an EIN number. Again, double, triple, quadruple checking all of that information. You want to make sure everything is correct. You don't want to flip-flop numbers, spelling of your name, any of that. So the latter part of this is getting into how much processing volume do you expect to do. So that's where the monthly sales estimate comes in. Lets us know how much volume you expect to do to know where your approval needs to be. Now, this is very common with merchant account setup and everything that you would do. Paparazzi had to go through the same process when they get a merchant account set up. It's all about validating the account. So your account will be approved up to a certain amount. And we want you to put in the amount that you believe you do your processing volume at. So if it is over $10,000, like you see here, then put in that amount. What will happen is the payments team will be reaching out to you to get information to verify that you do process volume at that higher amount so that we can get you approved at that amount. So you will be approved. It'll just take a little bit of extra work to get you approved at those higher amounts. So then the latter two questions are for fraud. That's a tongue twister. Are for fraud prevention. So what is your average customer transaction? And then what's the largest customer transaction that you've experienced, so that we can kind of have checks and balances to make sure you don't have any fraudulent orders that potentially come through. So not the last step. The next step is going to be your banking information. Very self-explanatory. There, you're going to put in your bank information, routing number, account number, and you're going to continue. Now, what this is for is that if you choose to transfer your funds from your pink Premier card to your bank, we need to know where those funds need to be transferred to. So that's what you put in here. So then we get to the fees and terms, right? So these are standard terms that you see. You probably set them up. Like I mentioned, the $7.50 setup fee due today, and $2.50 every year thereafter. Now, the next thing that you see are the processing fees. So what you see there is the first thing is rate when using a credit card reader. And that's this credit card reader, right? And this is the one that I know Jeff and Ryan have shared on their Dork Show. If you choose to get a card reader, it comes in this nice handy dandy little travel case here. And it comes with the card reader and a charging cable and a lanyard. And it's really nice. It's Bluetooth enabled. It's literally this small. You can do tap. If you can see it there, you can do the chip, and on the back there is the swipe. It's really nice, and it's small for if you do those in-person transactions. So those transactions will be charged at a rate of 2.85%. And then if you do any other kind of transaction, like your online sales or you're sending invoices, those are 3.5% with 15-cent transaction fee. And the rest of it's common terms, chargeback fees, all of that kind of thing. You guys are very well versed in that information. So you'll click I accept, and then you get the option here to choose if you want to purchase one of these card readers, right? So if you purchase a card reader, it is $108.99 in addition to your $7.50 account setup fee. And that does include tax and shipping and the cost of your card reader with that. If you choose not to get a card reader now, you're going to say, I don't need a card reader. And know that at any point in time, you absolutely can go back in the app and purchase the card reader at a later date. So once you click continue or next, depending on your device, you will get to the screen where you put in your credit card information. So you are either going to be paying the $7.50 account setup fee or the $7.50 plus the cost of your card reader if you opted for that. So I'm going to go ahead and transition to my tablet while you guys go ahead and pay for your orders there, your account setup fee. Okay, so where I'm at is I'm in my app here, and you are going to see at the very top left-hand corner, it's become known as the hamburger button because it kind of looks like a hamburger there. But you click on your hamburger button there, and you are going to go to settings. And once you go to settings, the way you know that your account has been approved and you're ready to get started is you see at the very top there, it says, congratulations, you've been approved. So that's how we know your account is set up. You are ready to go with your merchant processing, and you're ready to continue on our training series for the duration of the training series. Now, if you do not see this message, that does mean that there was an issue validating your account information, and you do need to go through additional checks to do that. You're going to get an email from the Premier team, the payments team, that lets you know what information we need for you to be able to get approved and set up and going there. And it'll tell you exactly what you need, what kinds of documents we need. And if you get that email, it will also give you the instructions for how to upload those into your app. That is going to be your fastest means of getting your approval submitted. So from what you see here down under the payment processing and banking section, you see upload documents. This is where you're going to come in app to upload the document so the payments team can get you right on the right path there for getting approved. So you'll submit everything. Now, if you have any questions about that, if you did get the email saying you need to provide additional documents, you are going to have information that contacts the payments team. Paparazzi support is great, but they are not going to be the ones that are able to help you if you are in that situation. Please contact the payments team for those questions specifically so that they can help you work through whatever you need to submit for that. All other questions, absolutely contact support. That's what they're here for. We want to be able to help you get onboarded.